We got Gators breakdown here. We know we're business.
Gators breakdown. Because there's never a dull moment in Gator Nation.
The Gators Breakdown podcast is ready to go. I am your host, David Waters. You can find me on social media at GatorDave_SEC, coming at you with another commitment video. This time it is cornerback CJ Hester committing to the Gators just a day after defensive lineman Kendall Guerville commits to the Gators. The Gators get another one right here in CJ Hester, so plenty to get into. This won't be that long of an episode. It's July 3rd, right before July 4th, and I'm going to spend time with my family. I'm sure you want to spend time with yours as well. You're busy. Yeah, I'm busy. You're busy. We won't keep you long here. We'll go into the normal spiel that we usually go into here for commitment. But a nice one here from the state of Florida. CJ Hester committing to the Gators. So everybody hit that like button. I know you like the news. I know you hopefully you like the content, all that good stuff. But also just want to help us out. Hit that like button, comment on this video as well. Those things do really, really well. Share it on social media. That helps as well. But subscribe right here on YouTube if you're watching the replay, or if you're catching the replay on the podcast version. Subscribe right there on your favorite podcast platform. Reminder, one more time, come join us in Gainesville, July 27th for Independent Gator Media Day presented by the Sachs Law Group, Gators Breakdown, Stadium and Gale, High Top Sports, and some players. We got some players ready to announce, of course, if you caught it earlier this week. But if not, here's a reminder, or if this is the first time you're hearing about it, Bronaugh Brown III, Grayson Pup Howard, Jacoby Jackson, Jaden Robinson, Hilton Drake Stubbs, Trayon Webb, Jaden Woods will be joining us right there for the Independent Gator Media Day presented by the Sachs Law Group. It's July 27th, 2 p.m., First Magnitude Brewing right there in Gainesville. Link to the tickets is in the description. Tickets start at $25. We'd like to see you there. Come meet some players. Come chat with us. Should be a good time. Hey, if you want to chat digitally, a great place to do so is on Gators Breakdown Plus. You get access to that Discord and a lot of recruiting talk right now. So you want to talk recruiting with some other Gator fans out there, there's your place to do so. Gators Breakdown Plus Discord, always a lively discussion going on there. Fun discussions going on there. We go into some deep dives. We go into some crazy conversations sometimes. It's like Gators Breakdown, but I'm there. Others are there. It's a fun time. You get ad-free episodes of Gators Breakdown as well, right there at Gators Breakdown Plus. All right, so let's get into the commitment of one CJ Hester. An interesting prospect, because a defense, you could disable him defensive back. He's versatile enough to play corner, play safety. But Florida's going to get him as a corner. So let's get into it. CJ Hester, the four-star defensive back from Cocoa, pledges to Florida. So another in-state commitment here for the Gators. The four-star comes in listed at 6'1", 185 pounds. He is the 233rd overall player in the class of 2026. On the 24/7 Sports Composite. And they have him listed as the 20th best safety, as well as the 36th best player in the state of Florida. The On3 Industry, that ranking has Hester as the 269th player overall and the 24th cornerback, while being ranked the 39th best player in the state. So notice the two positions here. 24/7 still has him listed as a safety. On3 has him listed as a cornerback. The Gators view Hester primarily as a cornerback, but they also recognize, the attributes in his game that make him a versatile piece in that secondary. So cornerback first. We'll get to some comments from him as well of what, the discussion was with Florida about his position. But versatility is key. We know Florida likes versatile defensive backs. It continues here with CJ Hester. So it makes him an excellent fit for Florida's scheme and what the staff's looking for. So his fit, his long relationship with most of the staff, the quick-built relationship with Darren Wilson, and location. So being from Cocoa, being from the state of Florida, all that wins out here for the Gators to get the commitment. So Hester picks Florida over mainly Iowa. Georgia was one of his finalists as well. But down the stretch, more of a, I don't know how much of a battle, but a Florida-Iowa battle. I've felt for a long time that Florida was going to be the pick, as most of you have as well. Hester began his official visit schedule at Auburn for like a mid-May visit. Then he took a trip to Florida the May 30th through June 1st weekend. He followed that trip with a visit to Syracuse from June 6th to 8th, and then Georgia from June 13th to 15th, and then Iowa was his last official visit from June 20th to 22nd. And then coming out of that, Iowa really came on strong in recent weeks, but to me, it was always going to be tough to overcome the Gators for Hester. Syracuse was thought to be more in the mix during the process as well, but his main finalists were Florida, Iowa, and Georgia. So, and I don't know how up on he was on Georgia's board or whatever. Like I said, Georgia was one of his finalists. Don't know too much about the Georgia side of things there. But like I said, down the stretch, mostly a Florida-Iowa battle anyway. It was always going to be tough to overcome Florida. I mean, Hester consistently named Florida as his top school on several occasions, including after his official visit. Been to campus, 10, 12 times, a dozen times basically. So a lot of familiarity with the school. Being in the SEC helps Florida as well. And then he was a top priority for this staff. A lot of recruiting effort went into getting CJ Hester. All that, the attention, the need, all that made Florida too difficult to pass up. It didn't matter if it was Will Harris, the previous DB coach, or Darren Wilson now. Florida stayed on Hester. Napier told him he's the top corner on the board. And Hester recently said now that it was even between the schools. But even after that, I think maybe trying to create some drama. I don't blame him. A lot of people penciled him, pegged him for Florida. There was very little doubt that Florida would be the pick. So let's look at Hester, the player. Recorded 72 tackles, 44 of them solo, 10 pass breakups, 4 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and a fumble recovery last season. Credited with 55 tackles, 6 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble per Max Preps the season before in his sophomore season. So 55 tackles his sophomore season, 72 tackles his junior season. A staff member told Gators Online that Hester ran a 10.9700 meter, a high jump 6'3" back in 2024. He's long and broad, 32.5-inch arms, 76.25-inch wing, high cut and long, has recovery speed, good instincts and breaks on the ball. His play strengths are that he wraps up as a tackler and is willing to mix it up. Has position flex, ground level film shows twitch, and that he can plant, drive, and accelerate. It's coming from the staff right there. From a report from Gators Online, Blake Alderman. The good stuff there. Good stuff there. Let's get to the film while we read some more analysis of Hester and what he had to say as well. As far as what the staff told Hester, quote, they say that I'm strong, fast, physical, that I play the ball, and that they're going to let me be a versatile corner. They've talked about my first year playing just corner, and then probably in the next year, I can switch to play safety and star too. So starting as a corner and then maybe moving him around the more experience he gets, which you can see here in the highlights. That part about playing the ball, yeah, it's apparent. When you look through these highlights, he's around the ball, makes plays on the ball, and maybe some bad throws by some quarterbacks too, but he's in position to make a play. And then, right here, making plays after the interceptions as well. Corey Bender of Gators Online says, quote, coverage skills that flash. Hester stands out on film in his natural fielding coverage, whether he's playing man or zone. He keeps tight positioning and rarely looks lost in space. His footwork is smooth, and he closes windows quickly. Hester shows strong timing when breaking on the ball, while his ability to track the quarterback without losing the receiver shows solid instincts. He looks comfortable covering the slot or working on the outside, giving Florida flexibility with how he can be used. Corey goes on to explain with his high football IQ and reaction speed, One of Hester's best traits is how fast he processes plays. On film, he dissects routes well, reacts quickly to what's happening in front of him. He doesn't waste steps and shows good discipline when working in zone. Whether it's jumping a screen or staying home on a shot downfield, Hester's decision-making shows maturity and trust in his assignments. Physicality and run support. Hester isn't afraid to step up and hit. He's a willing tackler who comes downhill in a hurry and knows how to take proper angles. He sheds blocks well for a defensive back and consistently makes plays near the line of scrimmage. That physicality should translate well to SEC play, especially as he adds more size and strength over the course of his collegiate career. Where he can improve, Hester's game is well-rounded, but there is still room to grow. At times, he can be overly aggressive in jumping routes, which can lead to missed plays or open receivers. He is a good tackler but can clean up his technique when wrapping up in space. Adding strength and continuing to loosen his hips in transition will help him become even more consistent when mirroring pass catchers. Andrew Ivins of 24/7 Sports also offers an analysis of CJ Hester. Quote, battle-tested defensive back with natural coverage skills and some alignment flexibility that has produced since he was a freshman for Coco program that has won 3 straight state titles. Verified at just under 6'1" early on in the recruiting process and should eventually carry 195 pounds or more. Has plenty of experience working in off-man situations from an outside posting and does a favorable job of putting himself in position to make plays in the deeper third with his route recognition. Animated as a tackler as he charges towards opponents and tries to unload with force. Not afraid to lower his shoulder and rock a compromised pass catcher either. Owns promising track and field metrics, but game and tape in-person evaluations suggest that he's quicker than he is fast. Projects as a starting caliber safety at the Power 4 level that could also earn snaps on the inside as a nickel defender. Should be a regular on special teams unit with his physicality and sound football IQ. There's some different looks here. Like I said, being able to play, and there's your examples of some good tackling right there. Not afraid to get physical. That's one of the things I mainly look for when all these film reviews, of course, are showing the highlights of a player. You don't see the lowlights too much. But one thing I do look for is how do you play? You don't need to shy away from contact. I'd like to see you showing the physicality. I like to see a high number of physical plays. And that's what we're getting here. That's what we're getting here. It's not just two highlights of tackling and all being able to, intercept the ball or make a play on the ball. There's also some physicality in here as well. Play recognition, not being afraid to hit. That's what I think you have to like here in some of these highlights. And that's the portion of the highlights we're watching right now is just his reaction and coming up and making a tackle, making a hit. You can definitely see he's not afraid to hit. He'll go low, knows when to go low, knows when to play smart. I mean, outsized, going to get some running back there, but doesn't care, takes his legs out from under him. I mean, so, yeah, I like it. And then play recognition here. I mean, playing his man, but comes off of his man to help make a tackle. A lot to like here. There's a lot to like here. A few more highlights, not much left there, but you can see the versatility as well. I mean, the way he plays the physical part of the game, I think you can see where nickel and safety come into play, but particularly nickel. Like a lot of what I'm seeing right here is, that screams nickel to me if he has to play it. Like he's not afraid of the contact, can play closer to the line of scrimmage. Good little player here. I'm liking CJ Hester. I mean, physical right there and on route coverage. Good stuff there from CJ Hester. I'll let this one play out so I don't stop in the middle of it, and then there we go. All right. So the storyline so far, let's go through the secondary storyline. Or storylines in the secondary for the Gators in this class of 2026 so far. I mean, we've seen decommitments in the secondary so far from Jalen Waters and Devin Jackson. And then we've seen commitments from 4-star corner CJ Bronaugh, flipping him from Nebraska. Elite track skills to go along with his play. and he's the highest rated player in the class so far for the Gators. And at safety, the Gators have landed a commitment from 4-star Kaiden Hall. So CJ Hester makes it the third defensive back commit for the Gators right now. We'll see. I mean, I won't completely shut the door on Jalen Waters yet. We'll see. I don't know if you guys out there are following, social media, but you see some Miami fans not necessarily too happy with Will Harris so far, and maybe the lack of recruiting there. And maybe if he's got one foot out the door already and looking for NFL, I mean, we kind of thought that he might be interested in the NFL anyway before he left Florida to go to Miami. So that's probably not completely done yet. So, we'll see. And they'll get some guys there, but I mean, they're not hiding some displeasure that's out there. It's so far with Will Harris, but Jalen Waters followed him there kind of to Miami. If he was to leave Miami in a timely fashion before early signing day, or there's some inklings, or maybe it doesn't come to that anyway, and Jalen Waters maybe wants to get back in the class. But we'll see. I won't completely shut the door on that. I wouldn't necessarily predict it, but I'm not going to shut the door on it either. So Hester's also the 16th commit overall for the Gators. Like I said, back-to-back commits here with Kendall Greville the day before. So, and we've went through the upcoming decisions. I mean, July is going to be busy for Florida. So potential to add some more in the coming days and weeks. His commitment has Florida 15th right now on the 24/7 Sports Composite Team Rankings. All right, there you go. Your look at CJ Hester. Some early fireworks here for the Gators on the recruiting trail. But getting a cornerback from Cocoa, CJ Hester. So, all right, everybody, get to it. If you got to travel, go hit the road. Be safe this 4th of July. Everybody have fun. If you're spending time with friends, with family, enjoy it. Or enjoy it however you want to enjoy it. But be safe out there. We'll catch you on 4th of July, maybe an outside shot. We'll see. I mean, like I said, Malik Morris, the linebacker, there's a chance he could commit on July the 4th. I don't know if I'll do an episode on July 4th, so we might be waiting till the next day. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on. If it's a time and it happens early in the day, something like that, who knows? But that's where it stands right now. So I'll catch you on the other side of the 4th, guys. If nothing happens on the 4th, you guys have a good time. Be safe. Tune in to Gators Breakdown on the other side of it. But I am your host right here, David Waters. You can find me on social media at GatorDave_SEC. Guys and girls out there, thank you for joining me on this episode of Gators Breakdown.